The first XRP spot ETF just started trading not long ago, but if you watch my movie where I break it down, you'll see that this came from a very small issuer. Well, a huge number of XRP ETFs from some of the biggest companies in the world will be coming out over the next few days. When these ETFs come out, I think the price of XRP will do certain things that will help us get out of the current downturn. We will talk about those things in this video. Finally, at the end of the film, we'll talk about some new information about Evernorth. You won't want to miss that. Your help is very much appreciated as always. Thanks a lot. Thank you to everyone who liked the movies and signed up for the channel. These two easy things help me a lot. Also, if you ever need a good place to buy XRP, you can find my recommendation for Uphold in the video's description. So let's get right to it. I hope you guys like what's here. I start this video by talking about the new XRP ETFs that are about to come out. That being said, the first spot XRP ETF just came out the other day. This spot XRP ETF did much better than any other ETF that came out this year. They were over 900, but this spot XRP ETF that just launched beat them all in every important way. But guys, something that not a lot of people took into account was that this spot ETF that got launched and was so successful wasn't even launched by a big firm. It was actually started by a very, very small company. After seeing that this small company was able to do so well, it seems possible that when these bigger issuers come out, there will be a lot of excitement. Now, tomorrow, Franklin Templeton is coming in with a $500 million sales goal for their XRP ETF, which is going to be released tomorrow. Obviously, this is very exciting because Franklin Templeton is in charge of trillions of dollars. This company was the last one we saw start an XRP spot ETF. They only had 10,000 followers on X and maybe 100 times less AUM than Franklin Templeton. This is really exciting because a lot of people will want to put their money into the bigger companies. This has already happened with the Bitcoin spot ETFs. Even though many Bitcoin spot ETFs got off to a fast start, the big players like Franklin Templeton and BlackRock were the ones who really brought in the money. The big boys are now getting ready to release their spot XRP ETFs. We can see who is on the list. It's tomorrow, November 20th, and we have Franklin Templeton, November 21st, 21 shares, November 22nd, Coin shares, November 22nd, Brayscale, and November 25th, Wisdom Tree. This is a lineup for big boys. These are no longer small producers. These could be trillions and trillions of dollars that are just sitting there waiting for net new investment. To be clear, this doesn't mean that all of this money will move into XRP. The point is that the money is being managed. The last provider to enter the market didn't have a lot of AUM, but their first spot XRP ETF did very well in terms of both volume and interest. There should be a lot more money coming into the market now. As soon as these spot ETFs make the news, like when they go public or appear on CNBC and bring a lot of people into the spot XRP market, I think it will be the right time for the price to resume going down. The market as a whole has been selling off pretty significantly over the past couple of days. But in the video we showed yesterday, we talked about how the rest of the market is selling off much faster than XRP for the first time in a while. It's not really a surprise when we look at what XRP is doing right now. Since we made the video yesterday, not much has changed. What we can see about the XRP price right now is that it's staying right where it needs to stay at this bottom support. It's clear that XRP needs to hold here if prices are to go up, but I don't think it's an accident that XRP is right at this support line right now. Just as Franklin Templeton is about to launch their spot XRP ETF, we really want XRP to bounce off of this bottom line and move back up to the middle of this range. Everybody should be looking for this as the most bullish thing that could happen right now to get us out of the clear. The price of XRP is right now right on the line. So we need to get out of that kind of sketchy area where XRP is right now. Let's look at the XRP to Bitcoin price picture we made. We can see that this chart has already turned around since yesterday. This is a very good sign for the direction of XRP over the next couple of weeks. From this picture, it looks like the bottom has already been reached and the price is now going back up. Now, this needs a trigger, right? The market needs a reason to say, hey, this is why we should own XRP. This is the reason we need to invest more. Net dollars in XRP, there's something going on here that doesn't really make us want this object more than Bitcoin. Now, I think the most clear thing is that these XRP ETFs are all lined up. It looks like the chart is there. The cause seems to be there. All of these things seem to be building up to possibly finally break out of the current downtrend we're seeing. This is because these ETFs are hitting the market and bringing in new net gains into XRP. This is something that the market has been missing for a long time. Spot ETFs have been on the edge of becoming real for a while now, but they're finally here. I believe the market needs something to get excited about, and this is it. From my point of view, I hope that when the Franklin Templeton ETF goes live, more than $250 million will flow into that spot XRP ETF. We'll see how things turn out. Some things I like to stress, though, are that even though this could be a very good thing, it's also important to remember that standards are high, and this spot ETF needs to do well for the market to get excited about it. If you start a spot XRP ETF and no money comes in, it won't get the market excited, and it could even be bad. All of these things will be good in the long run because they will bring in more net new dollars that wouldn't have touched XRP otherwise. But in the short term, we want it to do better than expected. And I'm crossing my fingers that it will have a great start and beat out the XRP ETF for first place. This will only make more companies pay attention. There will be more and more firms like Fidelity and BlackRock that haven't filed yet that will say, well, at this point, we're just missing out. Let's send out our application. Let's get this going, or we'll lose the market for the XRP spot ETF. Okay, enough with that. I want to change the subject and talk about something else really cool, Evernorth. As we said before, Evernorth is something we talked about because it turns out that a company is going to make a treasury business based on AXRP. That business is Evernorth. Now, this is being done right now by Michael Saylor and a group of Bitcoin users. A Bitcoin treasury plan is what they're using to try to make it work. That being said, one issue with Bitcoin is that you can't really do much with it, okay? A lot of you get it. This makes sense. You need to figure out how to make money if you run a business. So let's quickly figure this out. If you borrow money and have to pay it back with interest of 5%, and then you buy Bitcoin with that money, is that right?